I'm not really concerned about the kids too much, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously something could still happen, but overall, they're not the at-risk group.
Yeah.
I'm not super concerned about if you send kids back. Like, I imagine there'd probably still be precautions with them wearing masks. I'm not opposed to that. Do whatever with that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe put the desk farther apart. I think it would mostly be fine if just they like, did, like, the new precautions with social distancing. The teachers are the more at-risk group, and I believe we talked about how there's a large portion of teachers are, like, above the age, like, in the
Vulnerable area.
vulnerable age group, especially in Wisconsin. So I completely understand the need to put it online for, like, put the teachers online, maybe have the students go, or maybe have it all online.
Yep.
But, I mean, even if you have the kids go, because I feel like there's some things that might be more beneficial to have the kids go to, rather than having the whole thing online. Like, I don't know, even though it's not the best solution, I don't see it being that bad if, like, school districts hired people who were going to education and maybe were, like, students who, like, maybe wanted to be teachers and, like, had them, like,
assist or
yeah, do stuff like
not
that.
necessarily teach.
Yeah,
but,
you
like,
you could have them sit in a room of students. Maybe it'd be a smaller room of students than normal. Make sure they do their stuff, and then you have the teacher on the screen.
Yeah.
Doing the teaching. Like, I don't know. Like,
That's a good
That's
idea.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just really not concerned about sending the kids. I think you can doing things like cutting down the class size, having the kids wear masks, doing all that stuff would still be helpful. But I think it would be more helpful to at least try to change the system in some way to have the kids show up at school rather than having it completely online. Because I'm, like, bummed out by the fact that I have to do the majority of my classes online now.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that I won't be able to do extracurricular stuff. Honestly, it's probably worth it if I can still do that. But, like, I find it really weird that some people barely had any of their classes moved online when they're taking, like, 100 classes. And, like, I'm taking, like, 300 classes that are being moved online. And I don't know why that is. Seems weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think 300 classes with a smaller class size would be, like, relatively easy to do in, like, a spaced environment. But I don't know. I just have, like, my 2 classes that have labs are, like, my classes that are
in person.
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be more, like, another class of labs that they just, like, ditched the labs on or something. So
Yeah. I know when all this hit, like, they had to, my labs were all online and not very informative. Didn't really capture a lot, which is
Yeah.
a shame because, like, that class was one of the classes that I really wanted to grasp the information.
What was the class?
Microbiology, because I
Okay.
use a lot of those lab techniques
Yeah.
in my post-bachelor career
For sure.
or job while I'm hopefully in my master's program.
Dude, I'm just really freaking hoping so much, man, that I'm going to be able to go back into the rat lab, dude. I'm, like, super pissed that I was not able to.
This dude works with rats.
Dude, I was so pumped on it. I was, like, doing it for since like January. Since January started, I went in, like, early January and was doing that stuff over winter break, and I was doing it, like, ever since. And we had a grant for a project where we were going to perform, like, this thing called the empathy study on the rats, where you trap one rat in a tube, and you have another one where it can either free the rat or eat chocolate, and you see what it does. And you, like, teach it ahead of time to be able to unlock a cage, so it's not, like, question whether or not it can unlock the cage, it's whether or not it will.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an experiment that's been done before, so apparently they actually are sympathetic and will eat the chocolate with each of them and share it.
Yeah.
Most times, but we were gonna do other things to it, like think the rat, like put the rat that was trapped under a spotlight to make the rat more anxious about getting them out. Maybe kind of putting the rat in, like, a similar traumatizing situation of having it grow up, like, with times that it has to spend in the tube, which as, like, terrible as a lot of that sounds, a lot of this is, like, giving rats PTSD and seeing how they respond to it and seeing how that affects different ways in which they think. And then when the experiment's all said and done, we have to kill the rats in a particular way in order so we can get their brains out in a process called, like, a perfusion, where we drain the blood so the Because if you kill it in a way where the blood doesn't drain right away, it like makes it so you can't read the brain. You have to be able to like read the brain. And when I say read the brain, you're looking at different growth off the dendrites of neurons, because if a specific brain area was used a lot, the dendrite will grow on that neuron, and you'll see that that spot was being used a lot. So you can like gauge it in like spots that trigger when the rat feels anxiety, or when it feels addicted to something, or when dopamine's firing. You can basically look at the length of those dendrites and how many branches are off of them, and to estimate how often that area was used. You know what I mean? And I was getting really into that stuff. I was only doing it for a little bit, but that was like the thing that killed me the most about COVID. Because I haven't been able to do that ever since March now, man. It's crazy. I was going to do a rat surgery right before yeah, I had it scheduled for that next Thursday, and then it like didn't happen because of COVID.
Dang.
So it's like, I know I went on a tangent there, but as long as the opportunities at universities like that are opened up, I'm fine with having most of the classes online. The only reason I'm bummed out about most of the classes being online is it makes me worried that they're not going to allow activities like that.
Yeah.